If you're like me and you don't like little critters running around that you didn't invite in, check this video out.
These kitchens may look clean, but when the lights go off, the critters come out. Social media is filled with videos of rodents running amok in kitchens, even spotless kitchens. This mouse dashes off with a sponge.
You're so
This guy is so freaked out, he chucks his shoe at the mouse on his stovetop. This hungry little fella climbs right out of the stove and steals himself an Oreo.
Oh! Ew! Dude! What the?
And look at all these mice hiding out in stove burners.
When I walk into a home, number one thing I'm looking for is droppings.
Curious about what may be lurking in your kitchen, we teamed up with pest control experts in New York and New Jersey to find out for ourselves.
Make sure you don't have any holes exposed, any cracks around the garage.
With the permission of the homeowners, we installed surveillance cameras. It didn't take long for the mice to come out. They managed to scamper between all those traps. This Long Island kitchen has an even bigger infestation. Mice sure seem to have an affinity for sponges, even the dishes. 1, 2, 3 mice. Look at all those beady little eyes.
That is disgusting.
So, where are they all coming from? Here's the point of entry. It's a hole in the wall behind the stove.
Mice can fit through penny-sized slots, penny-sized holes. So this right here is without a doubt the Grand Canyon of slots that this mouse can fit through. Absolutely.
Giancarlo D'Andrea from TMG Pest Control says stoves can be a magnet for mice due to the food scraps that get left behind after cooking.
Just like human beings, mice, all vertebrate pests, we seek a few things, okay? We seek shelter, we seek food, we seek water. Just so happens to be that a kitchen has all of those. So this is like the absolute most optimal place to live and reside. Mice especially, because they fit in every single nook and cranny.
It showed us the access point the mice are using.
There's an ant trail actually going up and down the same spot. So this is 100% one of our entry and exit points. If we're dealing with a hole, something exactly like we're working with here, I like to just use some simple steel wool. It's really nuts to really put it into words of how this infestation really is.
So what can you do to keep your kitchen a mouse-free zone?
You want to make sure you're always taking your trash out. You want to really make sure you're keeping your property as clean as possible, both inside and outside. What I use is a multitude of traps that you can use. I'm not a big fan of complete extermination unless extremely necessary. So the first thing that I like to use, these are called tin cats, okay? Tin cats are basically a catch and release trap system. Mice are pretty intuitive and they're very smart. If you have these mice within this tin cat, they will most likely come back if you don't relocate them far enough or, exterminate the issue itself.
Maggie, what are you doing? There's nothing in the toaster.
Alternatively, maybe you should consider getting a cat. Cat may know best.
I was having the creeps just watching it. I don't know what it is, but some of you have lived in houses where you've had rats, mice, roaches, and I feel for you, seriously. But for my upbringing, we grew up in a house where we might get a field mouse every once in a while somewhere in the house, but it was not very frequent. I remember when I bought my house about 4 years ago, we were doing some demolition, and in one of the walls I found some dead mice babies and a mice or mouse carcass. Not rats, but little mice, probably about 3-4 inches long. And it freaked me out. I was like, I do not want little critters running around in my house. And it really, hear me on this, y'all, it freaked me the out. So I started watching as many videos as I could on what I could do to keep mice from getting in the house. And to make matters worse, my wife tells me while she's sleeping, she said she can hear things running around inside the cavities of the wall. What else can that be? It's either a squirrel or it's mice. And I had already seen some dead mice in the cavity of the wall when we were doing some construction, tearing out one of the walls. So I'm telling you, I was like, I'm going to do whatever I need to do to keep these little nasty things out of the house. And I bought some of that Tidy Cat stuff and I threw it up in our crawl space. And after a few weeks, my wife said that she didn't hear the little critters running around inside the wall. So we obviously killed them. So I don't know if they were there before. I mean, obviously they were there before, but if this was just something that the previous homeowners had dealt with, But since we've lived here, I have put mice traps in the garage. I've put them up in the attic. I try to be proactive because I don't want them little suckers here. And then living out here in the country, one time I was under my crawl space, and I kid you not, we have a septic system out here. We don't have like city plumbing. So we have a septic tank and the big old 3-inch PVC pipe that carries all the waste out of the house. Something had chewed on it. I mean, check out this picture right here. I mean, it had literally chewed through the plastic PVC pipe. And then right next to the pipe was a hole. Looked like it was big enough for a skunk or a gopher or something to come up through. And I was like, oh man, what the heck are we dealing with? I'm telling you, so you got to remember, I'm a city boy. So used to all this stuff. A lot of people live in the country. Field mice is just like mosquitoes. It's just part of the thing. But I'm like, listen, if you ain't paying rent, you ain't contributing to the household, you are not living in my house. Seeing this video reminded me of just those memories and when I had to put up with that. But thankfully, we have no little critters running around through this house. And if we did, I guarantee you they won't be here very long. Anyway, I just had to share this with you guys. When I saw this, I was like, I got to make a video on this because I wonder how many people actually deal with little field mice. Because in all honesty, they're just looking to have a place to nest, have their babies. They're looking for some free food. They're looking for some warmth, especially now that we're in January 2025. They're looking for warmth. You know what I'm saying? So, but again, like I said, if you ain't paying the rent and you ain't contributing to the household, you got to go. I love you guys, and I'll check you on the next one. Later.